do already see Twisted Fate will be taken away from him.
So Olaf also being banned out here. What in the world?
Samix played him last week.
But still.
Oh, no, it worked out really well for them because they were so tanky versus against Authority.
But is it worth a ban? I mean, it was. Don't get me wrong. Week 1 of the season,
right.
absolutely worth a ban. But right now, I'm not sure. Renekton, definitely a ban against Freddy122. Shen being taken out. But that leaves a hell of a lot of champions open.
And speaking of that, Kennen is still open. And you're going to give Kennen to Jimbones again, who already just showed you why you should not do that. I mean, we have seen Freddy122 play Kennen in the top lane. I will agree with you on that one. With the Olaf ban, you know, it could be for a certain composition that against Authority wants to run. Well,
Kennen right now is actually probably the main pick in Korea right now. So hasn't gone for it though. Gone for Kha'Zix.
And we'll see. Well, we know Schleia can play him. We know Freddy can play him. It just depends on where they want to necessarily go with it. But you know, with that Kennen open, they're not locking it in right away. So that leads me to think that they might be falling into a trap, or they know they're falling into a trap or something like that, and they're kind of straying away from it. Well,
Ezreal is of course open for Nono, who played godlike on it earlier on. Against our Authority with a very different setup though, with that Kha'Zix being locked in already. Giants immediately trying to ponder a strategy to see this one. Looks like it's Extermin that's making the calls. You can see he's the one that's talking to his team right now. And the nods, he seems happy. I think Samix and Morden, let's see what they lock in.
See, the thing about Giants is they love running like heavy kind of, or not heavy kind of, they love running really high health target champions. They really like to be really tanky against your team and just outlast you in fights. But we're seeing Morden, you know, we could see him jungle Elise, we see him do Volibear, and it looks like he actually would go with that Elise since it was left open.
Well, Elise is being hovered over, and there's Jim Bones. Thank you very much, KD Cannon. Well, we'll see if it works out. Evil Geniuses let it open, and it backfired horribly for them. Will it work against All Authority?
See, what I'm thinking is, could Samix play him and then throw off against Authority? Because you leave Kennen open, they're like, oh, you know, we could pick up Kennen for Jim Bones, but we could also play him top lane and just completely catch you off guard.
Well, AP Kennen, it's his champion of choice right now. Like I say, in Korea, it's definitely something that they've been running a lot of in the OGN championships. Of course, Twisted Fate also being solidly over there, and he's been banned out in this one. And Yoner Nasus.
Well, real quick before we go to that, is that I remember Jim Bones actually used to play AP Kennen. Like, that was his main role, like top lane AP Kennen. So we could see maybe him play AP Kennen at the top lane, Samix as AD carry. We've seen it happen with the Dragonborns.
Okay.
Could very well happen. But with the Leona locked in, with the Nasus locked in, curious where the Ezreal is. You know, if you have it open, I mean, obviously you can take it away, or you don't have to take it away yet since you see Kennen locked in, but it'll be up to Giants to see if they want to actually run that Kennen as AD carry or not.
Well, there's Zyra. We have seen Extermin running that a number of times, certainly in the live qualifiers back in Warsaw all that time ago, back in January. And we've come a long way since then.
Yes, we have, but I have to say that will most likely go into Babetta, though. His Zyra the past couple of weeks have been so perfect. Every ultimate he puts down just lifts off the enemy team. We have Jarvan available. Obviously, we picked up since we have Elise in the jungle, but that's kind of like the perfect champion you want to use with it, and that's what Giants have used in the past.
Rumble also being selected. We saw SK Gaming taking that one. Just got man of the match performance, Kevin, on that Rumble, so we'll see whether Giants can do that. And it was Samux this time on that, of course.
I mean, I think we've actually seen Rumble once in the mid lane. I'm not sure exactly what game it was, but I have sthen him in the mid lane once before. Not sure how well he works out with that, but you know, against Authority, they have a top laner to pick. I say top laner, wasn't really sure who it's going to go to. And then, of course, their AD carry has Nono. I mean, he has Varus available if he wants to go for that. He has his Ezreal available if he wants to go for that. Has Misfortune available. I mean, he has so many choices right now, and what he chooses is actually going to decide how their whole composition is going to work.
Well, I mean, we could just list off 100 champions, and that's what he's got available. Well, what will he go with? Is it going to be the Ezreal? I expect it to be. Varus is, of course, also there. Could well be a champion of choice. He's going to have that knock-up, of course. We did see Freddy122 playing that Xin Zhao earlier on. It's going to be the dog in the jungle. There's going to be Schleia in the mid lane on Kha'Zix. What will the final choice?
See, the problem is that if they do lock in that Xin Zhao, they're very light on damage at that point. Like, Leona obviously doesn't have too much. Zen can do quite a bit if you put him as solo laner, so they need someone with a lot of damage to really keep the damage level of the team up. They don't have any magic damage, which is a really interesting thing, but they do lock in the Varus, so we've seen him play it before. Varus is really a heavily contested pick nowadays, and it's because of that percent health damage you can do. Not to mention you get attack speed off of minions. You don't have to worry about your attack speed being nerfed because you have the dog on your side. And then Giants now with their final pick, looks like they're going to go for a mid laner here, and that would be a double, well, technically like a 2.5 person AP team.
Karthus against the Kha'Zix. I am not convinced
that work out well. Well, that could lead you to believe that we might have Jimbo and Babette to go mid lane against Freddy and have Karthus go 1v2 in the bot lane with his blue buff. which we have seen happen before. It works out quite well.
We've seen Karthus down the bottom a few times in North America and in Korea. We'll see whether it goes the same way for the Giants, though. Whether it's going to get locked in or not.
They don't have an exhaust yet, which is really worrying to me, because if Kazik jumps in and doesn't get exhausted, he's just going to tear through your entire team. We're going to see a pentakill happen potentially, like we saw Alex. So they might need to switch that up for it.
It'll be yumping all over them. The question is whether it's going to get locked in. Yes, it is. So that is their final choice. It's a big AE team, again, I'm seeing coming out from Giants, which is something we've seen a lot of the times when they picked up the victories.
They actually, okay, well, if we look back into the qualifier days, they love heavy CC compositions.
Yes.
And this kind of refers back to that a little bit, because, you know, you have the knockup of Zyra, you have Kennen with his AoE to stun him, and then you have Karthus sitting with his Defile on, and you have the Rumble ultimate coming on top of that. That's just a lot of, hey, let's get a lot of burst out on a one area, and that could work out really well for them if they can catch the team in that. The thing is, Nono's going to be sitting really far back. You're going to have Schleia coming in from the sides, not necessarily in the front, and it's up to Giants to really pull off these fights.
So we'll see how this one works out, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is a battle for 6th place right now. Or is it? Against All Authority, after that win against Evil Geniuses, it is possible that they could chase down the Copenhagen Wolves for that 5th spot, which is a big coveted spot as well. That would be against Evil Geniuses right now, and the 6th spot would be against SK Gaming. But we are underway against All Authority as the blue team, Giants as the red team, and this is definitely a battle to watch. Currently, it's 2-1 to against All Authorities. They have the advantage, but Giants, they picked up the win last week. Can they do it again?
We will find out very shortly in about 30-40 minutes time, but we do have against All Authority. They're going for an invade here right now.
Oh, that's a face check straight away. We're not quite seeing it on the screen. Morten does get caught out. One more hit. Can it be enough? No. He gets away. The Spirit Fire went down there. And well, that was so quick, the cameraman wasn't ready.
I was actually trying to see what abilities were taken here. And we saw Spirit Fire, obviously, for Virtual, which is exactly what you want to take anyways in the jungle. And Void Spikes for Schleia. Nono took his Hail of Arrows, and also obviously Dioed with his E as well. So a lot of abilities picked up already, but it honestly doesn't hurt them too much, because that's what they're going to pick up anyways in lane.
And interestingly enough, if they'd have used Ignite in there, they would have got the kill.
Yeah, they could have flashed for it on top of that as well. But, you know, it's also a lot to commit early on, but you can never really underestimate that first blood money, especially if you get that over to, you know, Nono or Schleia. When you have very low damage overall as a team, you're going to need those two people to get fed.
So very aggressive stuff coming out from against All Authority here, getting them wards in the places they required on the blue and in towards the Wraiths there, so they're going to get full vision and the Tri-Bush straight away. Oh, Ping Ward going down there. Babetta not happy about that Tri-Bush ward, so it is going to be Babetta and Jim Bones. They're going to be on that top lane, or will they switch around now that they've been spotted?
It looks like they will stay up there, but the real question for me is, will we see Samux in the mid lane? Because he was kind of sitting around like he could potentially go for it, but they also are just trying to secure that blue, it looks like, and they won't give it over to Extra, so he will be sitting in the middle lane instead, and Morten will be able to pick it up himself. Well,
we see them both stood on top of that ward, so full vision given to against All Authority, knowing the jungle path and exactly which way they're going. Nono on Varus, he's picked up these golems and the support of Dioed. He's going to go and help out the jungler Virtual on that red buff. Meanwhile, we do see Giants hanging around, waiting to see if Freddy122 is going to fall into their trap. Freddy, of course, started off with the red pot against Evil Geniuses as well. Will Babetta just root him out there? No, he's just going to get a little bit of poke on towards him. And we saw him go very tanky. Do we expect him to do it again here?
Yeah, I mean, Tanky Zin still does a lot of damage. You saw his Triforce. He would just tear through Yellow Pete in that last game on his Misfortune. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that yet again. We do have Nono already pushing Samux out of lane right now, which is exactly what you need to do. I mean, they're doing a better job of it currently than it's happening to Freddy 2-2 and 1-2-2 in the top lane, because he hasn't had to pop anything yet.
All those numbers right now catching everyone. So, 3 minutes gone in this game. And as you'd expect, it's very even. They could have had that first blood, didn't go down on Morten instead. He got away, and that first blood, despite the fact he could have come out, it did force the flash away from a jungler, so he can't go for any crazy engages. But that's not really that big of a deal on an Elise jungle.
Yeah, you have to look at it as this too. I mean, if Against Authority did blow some flashes, they could potentially miss out on some kills, like, you know, killing Samux in the bottom lane, or maybe even Schleia 1v1ing Extra in the middle lane. So we'll just see how it develops over time, and hopefully it's not something that comes to bite Against Authority back in the butt.
Well, we see the jungler of Virtual having to look towards his top lane to try and help out Freddy. It is simply going to be a case of exactly like they did against Evil Geniuses and holding out this top lane. Spirit Fire goes down, keeps him at bay, good wave clearing.
And the thing is, he could be pushed out of lane really easily if Giants just be aggressive without Virtual there. So he's just trying to keep him up in levels, trying to give him a little bit of farm. When we do, it looks like Morten going for a slight invade here. Might be coming around the mid lane to go for a gank.
No, he's going to go for Wraiths. He spotted the jungler obviously at the top there. The pings went down and immediately they went straight in there. Instead, he may even loop back around And look at that, Slayer is like, I'm going to defend this off, realizes he gets the cocoon, gets an explosive spider in his backside, and tries to put his Void Spike in towards Morden to fend him off, and forces the ward placement in that middle bush.
Still good ward placement though. I mean, it gives him vision over to Morden. We talked about him not having flash earlier, so he's not going to be able to pull off any crazy ganks, and that just helps solidify it a little bit more. But Nono doing a great job in this bottom lane of just trying to keep Samix pushed away, trying to keep his CS low, because currently the top laners, quote-unquote, are 4 to 6 CS.
Yeah, playing with a grin as he manages to keep him away from that turret and the pressure being put down. And you can see Dude wants to go for this one, gets on towards Samix. Is it enough to tower dive? Will it be first blood? Can they finish him off? One more shot. No gets the kill.
And that is exactly what happens when the jungler isn't there to help your lane, when you get an entire mid wave pushed up against you. Morden wasn't there to help that out. We saw Virtual do it in the top lane, and of course Samix was on their receiving end and it did go down from that.
Very well played by Against All Authority, but they need to be backing off. They have that ward to spot Morden making his way down there. Can he take them down in 2v1? We've seen this spider be very, very strong. Dude, actually, no sticking around here. They want to fight this one.
I think they could take it.
We're going to see him. He gets in, gets the stun. The stun lock goes down. No, going to use the slow. Is it enough to take down Dude?
Yes,
the shield comes in. He gets repel out. Hasn't gone down. Tries to get in towards it. The flash comes out from No. He's 2 for 0.
Great play by Against Authority to realize that, hey, we have the damage to kill him. We know he didn't have flash up right away since he used it earlier. Obviously, he did use it right there, but still, great job by him. And Nono picking up 2 kills now and a red buff. Samix is going to have such a hard time lane, and you're seeing the top lane Virtual. He's just trying to make sure Freddy122 doesn't get killed, doesn't get pushed out of lane too hard, and Against Authority are in the driver's seat at this point.
See, the thing for me is Giants are doing the exact same strategy Genius tried on them. They've just played this game. They know how it works. They won that game. They need to do something different.
Yeah, and I was expecting maybe the Rumble mid lane and send Karthus bottom, because that would kind of switch him up, catch him off guard. Karthus would have a lot easier time farming in the bottom lane than Rumble would, and Rumble could do decently well against Kha'Zix in the middle lane. So I'm not sure if that's going to work out too well, but Virtual will be able to hold that turret quite well and catch up, actually get really good experience and CS.
So they do get a good poke on towards it, half the damage going down. Wither coming out from Virtual just to keep Jim Bones away from that turret and prevent the damage coming out there. Slayer now hit level 6, as has Extermin, and that means Requiem, and of course the Void Spikes have been made a lot bigger, and Samix actually getting caught out by Dude there. No, just going to keep him at bay.
And the thing is, Nono went back, he picked up a BF sword. 6 minutes in, he has red buff still. Samix cannot even get close to these minions, because with that hard engage out of Dude on that Leona, he's not going to escape, even with that red buff available. So he's hurting quite bad here. He needs to get some farm somewhere, and the longer he's out of this, the longer he's going to stay out of the game overall.
Well, fortunately for him, the Giants are doing a very good job at keeping Freddy122 pinned in this top lane. You see again the roots, the plants coming in there, keeping him away from that. Jim Bones is getting some great damage on this turret. They may even take this turret down in this wave. They're going to get it first.
It looks like they will indeed. And the thing is, we saw Morden actually come around real quick, put a ward in the blue buff, so they want to control that onto Shlaya, make sure he doesn't get that blue with that tier, so he can just consistently harass Extra out of that lane. And we'll see if they'll be able to take that. But yeah, first turret going over to Giants here. But will we see the lane swap actually happen? Because I don't think Jimbo or Rebecca could do any better against Nono and Dude.
Well, they have a lot of members of Against All Authority moving down towards the blue buff here. And it is going to be Virtual coming in. Slayer, like you mentioned, is going to get in there. And Dude is there. There's absolutely nothing Samus can do about this one. In fact, he may even get caught out. He's going to have his Equalizer available. No, he isn't. He's only at level 4. Oh, Chain of Corruption comes out. And that just shows how much of an advantage they have right now. And Samus is in all manner of problems. Or stuck on towards his turret. There, everybody's going to pile on. And it's No going 3 for 0.
Virtual's ult is a Karthus coming in. I was expecting the Karthus ult to maybe come in, but obviously Virtual should be able to survive that. And they pick up another kill again onto Samix. So the Authority looking very solid. 3 kills now into No. He was 11-0-11 last game. Can he pull it off again?
Well, Giants are trying to react to this one, and they're putting the pressure on this mid lane turret. They're going to get a good half the health chunked off it before Slayer gets back here. You can see he's going to jump in and try and get those Void Spikes down. He could maybe try and keep the damage down. Instead, he gets grasping roots on towards him, and immediately Jim Bones turns around and gets a little bit of a spark on his backside.
Yeah, that stun is so unexpected of an AD carry. You really underestimate sometimes, but he will be able to save that turret here as they're still being very aggressive. You see Morden come by, and Extra being forced to flash away right there.
Yeah, absolutely taken very low. This combo of Dude and No is causing all sorts of problems. They're going to get the top turret, and the mid turret is also going to get pressured. Now the blue buff, of course, Morden's going to try and get across and try and steal it away, but I don't think he's going to be in any position to do this one. There is 3 members Against All Authority, yeah, and they do give it away, but it's unfortunately, oh no, Slayer did get it actually there. I tell a lie. I thought Virtual had got it, instead he stole the other one.
But still, Extra he doesn't have a blue. That's the whole point of that. They took away the blue from him. They took their own blue, so now he's not going to have that sustain in lane. He even has a tier where he get towards his catalyst. That's going to hurt him so much in lane. And the thing is, he can't really afford to because Samix is already hurting so bad. Like, someone on their team has to step up and start making some plays so Samix can get back in the game a little bit.
We're 9 minutes into this game, and Bloodthirster is already close to being complete for Nono. This is danger signs for Giants, but they're continuing to keep their movement going, and Jim Bones is going to farm out. They will be strong when the team fights happen. They have that area of effect abilities to keep everyone very low. If they can catch on towards him with Extra, with Jim Bones, with the equalizer layered across, the flash comes out from Dude on towards Extermin. Slayer comes in. He's going to go down here, but it's a matter of whether he can take anyone with him. There's not enough damage. Or is there? On towards Slayer. Requiem comes out. He will get the revenge kill. Yes, he does. And would you believe it? Well, very well played by Morden to get in and help that one out.
I think if Schleyer used his Void Spikes on the Spider of Morden that was at him, he could have survived maybe.
With the life generate steal, yeah.
They might have been able to survive, but still, great play of Extra to be able to get that kill. And Morden coming in with that Cocoon to lock him down so the lay waste would hit easily. Good pickup for Giants.
And now we see Morden going aggressive on towards Nono. Is this really the ability they can go for? Babetta locks him up. They do have the damage. Morden's going to get the Fangs sunk in, and he does get a good shutdown there on towards Nono. That's going to give him a lot of gold.
And then you're seeing Giants get their Fangs back in this game here on the back of Morden, making some big plays. They are going to push this middle turret just a little bit, but still, that's what you need to do. You shut down Nono. You got the extra gold from him. You got a kill on a Schleyer. Great start to Giants' comeback.
And the top lane, meanwhile, is CS advantage still continuing to be with Freddy122, but Samux now getting in there. He's starting to get himself a bit of gold finally. He was shut down so heavily early on. Has managed to keep the levels up, though, with Freddy122 because he was punished by the Giants' pressure from Jim Bones. Meanwhile, down the bottom lane, it's Jim Bones that I was actually thinking of. Look at that. He's actually building up a bit of a CS advantage. Now got that BF sword on there. He's having a bit of free farm going here.
Yeah, that's all because that turret was taken relatively early on in the bottom lane, so that wave will consistently be shoved up against them, so he gets all that farm while Nono's roaming around into mid lane dying. So he's building up that lead. He's down in kills, but if he keeps this up, he's going to catch up in gold and really become a strong threat in these fights.
More importantly, Extermin, the fact that he did get that return kill, Requiem will be back available. Are they thinking of going for the Dragon? Pink Ward being used by Babetta to clear out the ward coverage, and against all authority, well, they had that big advantage at the start. Are they starting to let it slip here as Virtual tries to get the ward in towards the red buff? Pressure King poked on towards Extermin. Look at that, them Void Spikes, they are hurting him right now.
And it's interesting enough, you point out the Dragon is because we've seen, Diamond procs actually on Nasus take it very quickly, about level 6 because of that ultimate just shreds through the Dragon. And with the AD carry support already bottom lane, why not go for it? We're seeing that happen right now. They are spotted by a ward, but will Giants be able to make a play off of this?
They're going to be very slow reacting if they do go for it. It's already below half their health, but Babetta tries to get in there. They're not going to go for it. They can't get going in there. And Jim Bones, well, he wasn't really close enough, nor was Samux.
And we could see a potential 4-med push on this middle lane as well, trying to keep a lot of farm out of Samix's hands. Looks like Nono will go back to this bottom lane to farm up. And the thing is, I'm not 100% sure he can 1v1 Kennen right now. Because of the stuns that Jim Bones can put out with that ultimate, it can get a double stun off on you and just shred you apart.
Well, we've seen him doing it before against Yellow Pete's Varus. I think he's done it to Hosan's Varus as well on Jim Bones on this AD Kennen. And I think really all that fight was all about simply a case of Samux probably saying, look, I am not strong enough to even get close to this fight right now. He did have Equalizer available, but he's definitely fell behind Freddy122 by some considerable margin.
DU has ultimate up right now. But the thing is, Jim Bones does have Cleanse to get away, does have Flash. But they might go for Babetta instead. They can easily pick up a kill on him. He's very squishy at this point, and they are waiting around. This looks like it might happen, Demon.
Virtual's coming around though, and that's give the ward away. He does come around straight across that pink ward, and immediately that forced him to back away. So tried to get a little bit greedy. Now we see Morden stacking in this top lane. We do have Schleyer pushing up the river. No, instead chooses not to go for it. They're going to just steal the race away.
And unfortunately for Against Authority, they didn't really lock down this blue like they've been doing so well this game. So Extra is able to pick up his own blue buff here, which is going to be such a saving grace for him. He's going to be able to farm quite a bit, and he should be able to surpass Schleyer. And we do see the Bloodthirster picked up on a Varus now, and a Ruby sights on DU already 13 minutes in. That gives him so much health. He is such a tank at this point that you can pretty much afford to take a couple of turret hits and maybe go for some kills.
Well, that ward's about to run out in the middle of Extermins. So that means they don't have the vision on Schleier's roaming, which he's been looking to do so often here. He wipes out those wraiths. And they've actually cleared out both packs of wraiths there, so farming advantage is slipping towards Against All Authority, as you'd expect. 4-2 up in kills. That would, of course, give them that gold advantage they currently have of just under 2,000 gold as Schleyer wipes out that wave. Extermin, though, he's doing just as good a job. He's keeping them at bay. 102 CS for him. And he's keeping them off, and Morden looking to maybe take a kill on towards Freddy.
He might be able to get it. We do have Schley in the near vicinity, but I'm not sure that Freddy 122 can survive long enough against this comp if they did want to go in against him. As you even see him heading up a little bit, I mean, he kind of expected it, but he's going back to his blue here. And against Thor, they changed it up a little bit. They're playing a lot more passive now after how aggressive they were early on. You saw Nono visit mid lane because he wants to go for a push there and, you know, really punish Jimbones. Whenever he goes to that bottom lane to farm, he wants to push a turret on them to really just punish them for that.
Well, they're still trying to make plays, but it's not really working out. Morden does pick up that red buff. Oh, and he's going to dive on towards Babetta here. Freddy 122 gets the knock-up. Is it going to be enough? The Wither comes out. He's forced to flash away, but it gets him to safety.
And I want to say that flash isn't a giant deal for Babetta. I mean, it's nice to have up, but the whole comp isn't based around his ultimate, you know, being used first. You want to have Jimbones get in there first. You want to have Samix use the ultimate to lock them down, and then his ultimate follows up with Kennen to knock them up. So it's not a huge loss, but it still is a loss nonetheless because they can burst him down very quickly. You saw the damage Freddy did to him when Freddy only had a Hex Drinker and a Doran's Blade.
Well, the farming advantage is continuing to grow for Jimbones right now. You can see he's got a 20 CS advantage built up over Nono. Of course, Nono with those 3 kills early on, definitely giving him the big plays. We'll see whether they do manage to get in towards this blue buff, though. They just warded the blue buff up there. We'll keep our eyes on that one, whether Extermin goes towards it. Dude and Nono trying to force something creative to happen. As it stands, Pink Ward was put in by Babetta, clears it straight out.
And we see an interesting item being picked up right now out of Nono. He's going for his Mercury Treads because he needs that tenacity for the stuns out of Jimbones. He doesn't want to get caught too many times by him. And then also the Grass Mutes out of Babetta. So it's a smart pickup by him, and we'll see if he can continue to use that and use it to his advantage.
So Jimbones has Slayer coming in towards him right now. Blue buff on him though, but look at Jimbones going aggressive there on towards him. Little sparking his way in towards it, lightning surging his way through. Morden's going to try and keep them at bay though up from this turret. They do manage to take him down. Half health. Equalizer comes down there, and they're going to be the roots catching on towards Dude, but immediately they turned it around. No, try and get in towards it. Wall of Pain catches on towards Virtual, but great Wither and a great ultimate from Nono to keep them off.
Babetta was even coming from the side of trying to do some Schley, taking a lot of damage in the bottom lane. Can Jimbones dive this?
Well, he doesn't really have the energy to go surging in, so instead he has to just keep on farming. But that's interesting. The AD carry going toe-to-toe with Slayer down the bottom, and now Against All Authority are going to lose out in this mid turret.
And that's the power of Kennen. Because of those stuns, we see actually Nono getting caught by a Cocoon, but instead Giants trying to back away, and Against All Authority might even try to make a play, as they don't.
No, they don't. Giants, though, they are starting to turn the turrets into their favor. They've taken the top and middle, and now they're going to take the bottom down because nothing is down there to prevent Jimbones. He has no vision, but he's sticking around. He realizes he can just surge away if he were to get caught out, and that's exactly what he does. And
a great job by Giants to get back in this game. The thing is, they shut Nono down. They got a kill on Schley, and it allowed Jimbones to farm up as much as possible and go head-to-toe with Schley, just like you were saying. So Giants, I mean, they're now in the gold lead for the first time in this game, and they're looking very good. The longer the game goes on, the stronger they're going to get, and the more problems Against All Authority is going to have.
So, Against All Authority, they had that early advantage, but they didn't capitalize on it. And now the gold, like you mentioned, is now in favor of Giants, despite the fact it was a 2,000 gold lead built up by Against All Authority. As those turrets going down and swinging it in their favor. Wards placed around that bottom area. Mid lane, meanwhile, going to get pressured. You can see Virtual and Freddy 122 running again towards that turret. And the support player of Babetta just keeping them at bay and picking up any farm he can. Just as Extermin comes back, Grasping Roots fired out towards Freddy 122. Didn't quite catch on though, but they are going to dive in. It's coming around the side. Can they catch on? It's more than they went for. Actually split targeting Extermin. Still alive in there, and they're all in the defile. Can they get it towards Babetta? Requiem will come out. Is it going to be enough? Can they catch on towards anyone? Samox comes around the side, and now we're going to see Jimbones. He's trying to get to Slayer, but Slayer's made a run for it. Samox does manage to get the Flame Spitter on one. Can he get the Harpoon on towards Nono? He's so close to overheating. He does. Flame Spitter comes out. Oh, and he Chain of Corruption turns it around. Manages to slow him down. One more hit should do it. Oh! Nono, oh, couldn't quite pull it off. And Samox instead does manage to get the kill. Crazy, crazy stuff between these two teams. And it's a 3-2 for Against All Authority. Sorry, for Giants.
And that was Against All Authority diving on top of them. Great job by Giants right there. They should be able to pick up Dragon as well. And they're just lengthening that gold lead. Such a great play of everyone. And even saw Morden. He got off a nice cocoon onto Schley when he jumped into the backside, keeping Extra alive a little bit longer. And obviously didn't do anything in the end, but great play overall to Giants right there.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Dragon picked up 2,000 gold swing now back in Giants' favor. And this is looking good for them because that as a team, but it's a little aggressive, a bit of a dive on towards the turret. Against All Authorities, they thought they had great positional advantage, but Giants were all close by and all coming back from base.
I still love that play though. I mean, you can't make a lot of great plays without going for some kind of risky plays like that. But it was a good job by them still to go for it. They do have 2 Bloodthirsters picked up now, so one on Slayer, one on a No-No. He's had that a while. But then the Runic Bulwark on Virtual, he rushed that item ASAP because he's against pretty much a triple AP composition right now. That item's going to pay dividends easily as the game does go on. And of course, Giants will be working towards the Zonias as well, since they're against an all-AD team.
We do see the Infinity Edge now being picked up by Jim Bones. 1-0 in kills. 177 CS, though, against 143. And you can see the gold difference. He actually has an advantage now over No-No in gold. 400 gold advantage. Meanwhile, the top laners has a 300 gold advantage towards Giants there. Jungle, gold advantage for Giants. Mid lane actually is Slayer. He's the only person right now for Against Our Authorities that has that gold advantage and really is not equating into items right now. So 6-5 in kills to Against All Authorities, but 3-1 in turrets. And we see Jim Bones going aggressive, but he's got 2 members of Against All Authorities on him. Equalizer going down, but Jim Bones is dropped so quickly that Samix can't save him.
And he's got the reset, but it's not going to be enough. He looks like he has to back away. Morden coming up from this tri-bush here, and Against All Authority might try to go for a 3-man push onto this top turret. And with Samix backing away, it looks like they will be able to lock it down.
So, Against All Authorities moving towards the top turret. That's going to go down, and that's all important for Against All Authorities because they need that gold to come back towards their favor. That will level things out. And there we go. We can see the gold advantage switching back. No-No keeping Extermin down. Can he pin him down? Will the extermination be enough from No-No? No.
It won't indeed, but he's still going to get a lot of damage onto this turret right now, Demon. Should drop down to about half life.
Oh, the Wither coming out. Virtual going aggressive on Babetta. And you can see Slayer coming reaping around, but the ultimate comes out from Babetta. Is it enough to keep them at bay? And now we see Samux going in towards Virtual. The Flame Spitter running. Does manage to get the Harpoon, but he's got to be careful because the rest of Against All Authorities are there. And I keep calling them Authorities, and it's Authority. And that is another turret for Against All Authority. They are actually turning this very quickly in their favor. It's snowballing very fast.
And the thing was, it was a 2-turret. Like, they just got 2 turrets in a row, the top and the middle, so it gave them that huge chunk of gold income. Not to mention that kill onto Babetta, who they keep catching out of place. He had an Oracle on him, which he lost, and now he picked up another one. So he's investing a lot of money into this early site. Thing is, it hasn't been, the fights haven't been happening around the jungle just yet. It's still been in the lanes, so it hasn't been too effective. But if Giants can keep taking this vision away, they can easily catch Against All Authority off guard.
And that is exactly what they keep doing. So, how will they get together? They've not had a proper full-on team fight yet. Remember that. 21 minutes gone in this game. No-No's going to pick up that blue but red buff. He has got that Phantom Dancer with the Bloodthirster. Meanwhile, Bloodthirster also picked up by Slayer. And I expected to see the Brutalizer actually on him a little bit earlier. Did get that Tear of the Goddess. So he's waiting to slowly stack that up.
He's actually, it looks like he's skipping it and going for a Last Whisper right away because he knows the enemy team's going to stack armor against him, so that percent's going to benefit him a lot more than that flat. We still might see it come out a little bit later since Freddy's going to need the armor pen, Nona's going to need the armor pen as well, but it's not going to be a first pickup. We do have Jim Bones and Babetta waiting here on the side. They're going to go in for it.
They're going in towards it, but Chain of Corruption comes out perfectly from No-No, and meanwhile Slayer dives on towards Samix. He can't mess with him. One claw in the back will be enough, but Slayer ends it with the Void Spikes.
Great job by him to really go in against that engage. They're keeping Samix down as much as possible, even though he's got those 2 kills. And unfortunately for No-No, he was forced out of lane right away. And they're going to have a push on the mid lane even, it looks like, happening a little bit. But you can't really push that easily against a Karthus.
Well, Jim Bones, he's keeping the pressure on towards No-No down the bottom. Meanwhile, you can see, like you mentioned, they're pushing on towards there. Remember, No-No has just used that Chain of Corruption, and Jim Bones is aware of it, but he has got that red buff, and that immediately slows Jim Bones' little shock spark zipping up that mid lane.
I love what they're doing. They're actually keeping them busy in the middle lane for Slayer to go for damage on this top turret. They're going to get a little bit of chunk to it. They're actually having Dude and Freddy 122 come up for this. They could be able to secure it, or they could turn it into a kill because Babetta, he's not tanky at all, and Morden is there on the side.
Well, Giants are going to come around, try and defend this one. They catch the tail end of the Void Spikes. They do keep them away, but that was a good chunk of damage done from Against All Authority on that top lane. Slayer's going to clear out and steal away everything he can from the opposition jungle. Dragon's going to be up in 1 minute's time, and Giants, they are slowly but surely floundering away, and Against All Authorities picking up every little advantage.
And look what Dude's actually doing. He bypassed boots altogether. So to me, it shows is that they want to get a Wither onto someone, and then Dude wants to use that person to get to the rest of the team, and then follow up with his ultimate to keep them out of it. Or, you know, even then, if they do all dive onto Against All Authority, he can use his ultimate right there. But he's bypassing that right away to go for Lock of the Iron Solari, because he knows there's so much AoE damage that Lock is going to help so much.
Well, Samux is going to clear out that top wave. He's been caught out a number of times so far, and he's been trying to do as much as he can, basically effectively like Kevin did in the last game with Rumble just split push away, but he can't, because every time he does it, Slayer comes along and gives him a good kick up the butt, and it's not working out for him. So, Giants, they kind of need to change really what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. And well, luckily for them, Against Authority can't siege turrets too well as long as Giants are grouped up, because you have the Equalizer out of Rumble, not to mention the Wave Clear out of Karthus, and you can also be snared by Xyrus. So they have that in their favor. It's hard for Against Authority to do that. So they're going to have to go for a team fight somewhere, but team fights really heavily favor the Giants because of their whole lineup.
Dude is ready and waiting for the Dragon. And Slayer's actually a long way away from this one. If Giants were to try and pick the fight, and they have got all the members nearby, they may be able to create something here. Slayer's already starting to head south, though. Or is he just going to continue pushing that in the turret?
Well, it looks like they might concede that away. They do have a Beta with that Oracle Stellar Vision. Well, they won't have any, let's just say that, even though there is still a ward in that pit. He's going to get that top turret. And the rest of Against Authority are going to push the mid lane. If Shlaya comes down to the mid lane, they could catch Giants off guard and win a fight here.
They realized it. They're past the ward, and you can see, actually, Against Authority, they're just rushing straight for the top inhibitor turret, and Giants are in hot pursuit, but there is already Slayer working it down. You're going to see Virtual's going to come in. He's going to get a couple of Qs on towards it. That's going to put a big dent in that turret, and the rest of Giants finally managed to react from their inside base.
So good play by them. I mean, they got the tier 2 turret in the top lane. All they lost was Dragon in the end, which is a favorable trade, to be honest. And it looks like, yeah, Dude does have an Oracle himself, so he's going to take away that vision that Giants have, and they're going to try to choke them in terms of gold income by taking all this jungle away consistently. So you do have a Sunfire picked up on Immortan now, so he is definitely that tank they're going to need in these fights. You have that Rod of Ages almost fully stacked right now for Exter, and then the Zhonya's on the way to being completed for Samix.
Giants trying to create something from that play, and really there's not a great deal to get other than just to farm out as quickly as possible. Gold advantage still with Against Authority. It's been swinging back and forward, but currently it's 3,000 in their favor. And, well, Giants are going to try and push this mid lane. Jimbones is desperately trying to get down here as quick as possible. They're going to see if they can get some damage down on it, but without the AD carry, it's not a great deal going on towards it. And look at that, the Void Spike's clearing it out. They're going to dive on towards Extermin. Can they exterminate him? Yes, they can, but they're all in the defile, and Jimbones comes in. The Equalizer come across. Requiem's going to go down. Samux has taken very low, and now Nono's chasing in there. Can he catch on towards them? Samux turns it back around. They keep him rooted. They keep him stunned. Oh, the snipe comes out from Nono onto Samux there, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade.
That's a great play by Freddy to go in there right away onto Exter, and because of that, Exter was forced to use that exhaust onto him, which allowed Shlaya to get in there and do a lot of free damage, but Exter played it really well. They got Shlaya very low right out of that fight before he could escape, and they're able to pick up that kill with that ultimate out of Exter, who ends up picking up a death cap. So a 2-for-1 trade, not bad in the end for Against Authority, and that's what they have to keep doing. Like, they cannot, like I said before, they can't push towers. They have to catch Giants being aggressive and being cocky.
And Nono, he came into that fight just at the right time towards the end to clear them out. Slayer went very aggressive. He's got himself that mana immune, wants to get the Muramana built up ASAP. Meanwhile, we do see the reverse from Extermin, wants to get that Ceres Embrace on him. So he's already got that Rabadon's Death Cap along with that Rod of Ages. Of course, this is Extermin, the man of the triple Rod of Ages. Haven't seen that in a while from him, though, so it doesn't seem to go towards it anymore, which is the same. Zhonya's Hourglass has to be picked up by Samix ASAP as well. That would have saved him in that last fight.
Looks like he's actually going for a Rylai's Crystal Scepter before that, which, you know, we'll find out if it's a mistake or not. It's an interesting build, and it also gives him a lot of extra damage. It gives them that ability to push Against Authority away from the turret if they need to. It looks like they're actually heading over towards Banner right now. With that Oracle, they can clear all this vision, and they can force Against Authority to react to this.
They can take it quick, but Schleier's going to come around them. Void Spike's catching a full wave on them, and yeah, like you mentioned, that damage is definitely hurting them. Force them to back away from this one. No, building up that snipe. He's got a Banshee's Veil on now.
Yeah, I actually like that pickup quite a bit because he already has enough damage with his items. He has the damage from his percent damage to health, but that gives him the extra magic resist. It gives him the extra freedom from the stun. Not to mention, there is always a possibility of dodging a Karthus ultimate with it. So overall, good pickup, and he's going to be building full damage right after this, and it's see how well he can play this.
They can't seem to pick this fight. Extermin, he's already down below half health, yeah, and he's having to back off. Schleier is already forcing him away, and they've realized it. Are they going to try and keep this pressure on? Jimbones has gone back as well to base. He's Lightning Surge back there, and now Against Authority, they realize the problem, and they are actually going to back away from this one, despite the fact they have a 5-on-3 currently pushed on towards his turret.
See, Against Authority, they're not really super far ahead in items or levels right now, but I think if they went for a potential Baron bait, they could catch Giants in a position they don't want to be in, so it'd be very favorable for Against Authority since they can't seem to get them under this turret. It could be a potential play coming up, but DU doesn't have an Oracle anymore on him.
Yeah, they can't chase it through here. Giants, they want to try and catch someone out, but there's not really any easy targets for them to focus on right now. And Against Authority, they're saying, yep, we had a good siege, we had a good poke on them. We took a good half of the damage off that inner turret. We're going to back off and buy.
And the thing is, they don't want to fight on their side of their half of the map, because they know if they lose this engagement, then they're going to lose a tier 2 turret, they're going to lose an inhibitor turret, even potentially 2, and that just will be terrible for them. So they're trying to be aggressive, trying to make the fights happen on against Authority's side, but yet they can't seem to do that at this point. But Veta still has the Oracle, be clearing out a lot of wards. You see Samix farming up that bottom lane, getting that gold he's going to need for that Crystal Scepter, which he'll have relatively soon. Do see the engage on a Jim Bones, but with that Lightning Rush, he's able to get away.
Chain of Corruption used there, but he did cleanse it off, so Jim Bones' cleanse is down for the next fight if they were to engage and see if anyone can lock him up. So an important item or summoner spell used out there, and that's going to force against our Authority, who just had their wards cleared away from the Baron, going straight in, doing a sweep of their own.
Thing is, they have actually a decent team against Authority to take Baron down very quickly. They have Nasus with that ultimate, which just shreds Baron. You have Varus as well on top of that. And then you also have the potential to go for a hard engage if you need to, because No can get over the, or No will be able to get over the wall in a little bit with that flash. We have Dude and Schley who can dive into the backside, even have Freddy who can audacious charge over the wall. They could go for a really nice engage there, but they're just playing a little passive because they know how much this match really means. Like, they need to win this game, and they're playing it because of that, or playing it like this.
Yeah, this is effectively the same as a 6-pointer or a double win, I guess, compared to each other. If one were to win, if the Giants were to pick up a win here, they would definitely be in it for 6th place. If against our Authorities were to win, it would almost secure them at least 6th place. And we'll see how it does progress as it stands against our Authorities with that 4,000 gold advantage, with 11-6 kills and 5-3 turrets are currently in the driving seat, but it could all change with one big team fight.
I think with that Crystal Scepter picked up on a Samix, we're going to see an engage happening very soon. You're not, if you block them off with that, they're not going to be able to run away from you. They're going to be forced to fight you in an enclosed area, and with all of your AoE, with how it's going to work, they should be able to win those fights. We are going to see against our Giants actually push out a little bit here. Dio is waiting on the sideline, trying to catch someone off guard here.
They have caught on towards Babetta, but the rest of the team not quite in there. And now Dude's used everything. The Zyra ultimate comes out. Chain of Corruption lands on towards Extermin, but they're all jumping in towards the Defile. He's jumped straight back out, and that was a hit and run. Requiem comes out. Dude is going to drop down there, so it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Both support from mid lane are going down, and that's actually an advantage for against Authority, but they're the ones backing away.
Well, the thing is, even Extra got the Oracle off of Dude, and it also got their engage out of against Authority, so they could start to be aggressive here. They finally could take these turrets in the mid lane if they want to, but they actually are being chased away, and Virtual going in.
They're trying to turn it back around, but Freddy122 taking a good half the health. They're going to dive in towards Samix. They poke back on towards Morden. Morden's been caught out. The rest of the team have just left him for dust, and he does get executed down by Virtual.
Great play by AA, just turn that around. Freddy making that call to say, hey, I'm going in, guys, follow me up, and Morden being the death of that one. Really unfortunate for Giants, but still, I mean, overall, these fights are very close at this point. There isn't really a definitive win for either team just yet, or you can't really tell who's going to fully win the fights. The Dragon will be taken down for against Authority yet again.
Well, they will picking up that. They're going to pick up a big wave down the bottom as well. Freddy122 will clear that one out. Going for a different build like he did against Evil Geniuses. This time went Warmogs, and he had Trinity Force. Remember last time he's got that Hex Drinker instead. So we'll see whether he builds out into more of the Malmortius or whether he just picks up some more aggressive defensive items. Slayer, meanwhile, he's been clearing out this top wave, picking himself up a chunk of gold. He's got that Mirror Mana now completed along with the Bloodthirster and Last Whisper, as well as the Mercury Treads, because he's so worried about getting caught out by that CC comp that Giants has.
And the thing is, looking over against Authority, their items, each member has, well, minus Dude, has over 120 magic resist, and when they're all together, they have about 130, 140, which is really hard for Giants to really, you know, eat through at this point. And even Dude with his W up will have that, but as the game is progressing, like, you know, Giants are going to get stronger because they have Karthus, because they have Rumble, because they have Kennen, but also against Authority to get tanky enough to kind of deal with that, and it's kind of just a butting of heads to see who can really win these fights.
Well, it's Jim Bones that needs to get involved. He's 1-1-1. He's only been involved in 2 kills so far of the 7 that Giants have, and he needs to try and create something here. And really, well, not so much create it, but react and get on the back of it. Get them kills in there. Slayer, again, he's off at the side, farming away, clearing the waves, and honestly, I'm not too sure whether they can do something. They do see that he's out of position. They thought about going for the Baron now, maybe trying to force a positional fight. Instead, we see Slayer. He's hot throwing it up there. They're going to catch on towards Virtual. Wall of Pain did get down to his hands. The Harpoon. Is it going to be enough damage to poke him away? Instead, they're going to turn around. Chain of Corruption catching on towards Extermin. Samix is coming in from the side. Sorry, it's going to be Slayer getting up from the side there. There's going to be... Jim Bones trying desperately to get the slice of Maelstrom, but it's not going to be enough damage. He's had to cleanse it away. Slayer just pops him down. It's a double kill for Slayer, and that's going to be No picking up a triple kill as well. And they just absolutely execute every single one of them. Final kill comes out from the passive massive of Zyra, but it's just not enough. And against our authorities, coming out on top again.
Shlaya played that so perfectly in that fight. If you watched him, he dodged the cocoon that came out of Morden, was able to just hit every once in a while, get out, get back in because of the jump resetting, and just do even more damage. That was so perfectly well played and shows this mastery of this Kha'Zix. And with that ace, they should be able to take this inhibitor turret. And not to mention, they have the top inhibitor turret already down to half life at this point. So if they get this inhibitor, they're going to have another one they could take in a few minutes.
Huge advantage now for Against Our Authority after that fight. And remember, it was Giants that actually tried to force it. They thought they had a great positional advantage. One ward in that river would have told them, no, you don't. It's not going to work out quite so well for you. And now Nono, 8-5. This guy has got such a strong KDA over the last 3 weeks. It is building up higher and higher. He's working so well for him alongside Dude.
He reminds me a lot of the Tess, actually, from the Wolves, because once Bjergsen came into the Wolves' team, the Tess, like, so much weight was lifted off his shoulders. He played so much better, and you're seeing Nono do the exact same thing with Dude coming into the game. And Nono will be backing with about 2.5 thousand gold, picks up an Infinity's Edge, so he is just going to hurt extremely well against everyone on the Giants.
Yeah, and Jim Bones, you know, at the end there, he was just forced to back away. He got his ultimate going, but the fight was already over.
Yeah.
There's nothing he could do about it. Extermin, he's been dropping like an absolute proverbial sack of spuds before this fight even begins.
Well, the thing is, we can look at it as Against Authority. I mean, they did win that ace, or they did win that fight with an ace, but the thing is, Giants didn't get the initiate they wanted to. They didn't get their entire combo working perfectly. So you do see engage happening out of Freddy 1-2 on a Samux.
Samux is caught out. Equalizer had to be used, but Zyra ultimate is going to pop him up as well. He did manage to get the grasping roots, but Samux still caught out here. Rest of Giants are going to come around. Wall of Pain will be back available. Oh, what a fantastic catch from Dude there. Slicing Maelstrom comes out, but it is just melted the moment he even popped it off there. And Against All Authority just ripping through the whole back line of the Giants. And that is surely going to be the game for Against All Authority. They can come in, they can clear out the Nexus turrets and wipe out the base.
And that's exactly something I want to point out, is that Against Authority is doing such a good job of making Giants use ultimates to stay alive like that. Babetta had to use his ultimate just to keep him, or keep Samux alive. Didn't work out in the end, so they never had their entire combo up for these fights. But Against Authority going to take this win. Very well played by them within a very close match.
Very, very well played. Against Our Authority with the victory over the Giants. And that takes it 3-1 in their favor, and more importantly, secures their playoff position. And it's 2-0 for Against All Authority today. What a great start for Super Week. We're going to get over to the analysis desk to take us through that one. It's going to be